Hi everybody, this is Miss G and I'm here with some hot tea today, and T stands for trauma, empowerment, and action, but we don't like to spend too much time on the trauma here, so we tend to focus mostly on empowerment, enlightenment, and taking action to build a bridge to better and to really find peace and freedom and satisfaction, fulfillment in who you are, so that you can then bring something better to the world and contribute in the way that you're meant to as a human. And that's really what I started doing these videos for, because I see a lot of people who are hurting. I've been in a lot of pain throughout my lifetime, as everybody is. I'm not different than anybody else. But I've spent a lot of time trying to deconstruct the self-destructive nature and forces that some of this pain have caused me to enact, and then also to help other people maybe who are struggling find something that they can actually do for themselves when they need to, and not having to wait when they're going to therapy or something like that. Because at the end of the day, wherever you are, there you are, and we have to learn to nurture ourselves and build a better emotional home. And one of the tools that I found to be really useful lately is some of the techniques, in particular the S.E.O technique from Paul Friedman's Marriage Foundation. And S.E.O stands for Stop, Evaluate, and Find a Workaround. And just to touch on the whole marriage training that I've been doing, in the training, and I think it's really excellent from somebody who was married for nearly 20 years, dated the same person for 8 years prior to that, and then ended up getting divorced. I kind of have a unique perspective on this from my own experiences. Anybody who's walked a path like this, they would have their own experience too. But the Paul Friedman, he shares 4 different marriage killers, and I'm going to add a 5th to it. But I'm just going to give you a high level today, and then we'll probably delve deeper into each one of them as we go along too. Is first of all is over-familiarity, which is basically you start treating your spouse not like the person that you first met and fell in love with, but worse than your coworker or somebody that you have no respect for. So there's over-familiarity, there's poor communication, which they talk about communication all the time in marriage, but this is a little bit different. It's really loving communication and learning when you don't say things that can be hurtful. And one thing I really love about this training is that it's binary. It's very simple. It's is this going to hurt my relationship, or is this going to build my relationship? And there's not really any middle ground. And there's none of this, well, he did this, she did this. It's more right here, right now, we're going to stop. We're going to evaluate ourselves, because it all comes back to you. And then we're going to choose, is this helpful? Is it harmful? If it's harmful, then we're going to find a workaround for it. Instead of doing this, I'm going to do something that's helpful. And that's it. So very simple and binary, and I really like that. So that's applied to all of these marriage killers. And then expectations and expecting things from your spouse, and not realizing that marriage is an act of service. You're not there to extract from the other person. You're there to bring what you can to the other person, regardless of what they are doing to you. And I think that's one of the keys here that makes this a little bit different, is that Friedman believes, and I also have tried this in my marriage, is that you bring your best self to it. And, it's also a choice whether you decide that you want to be in your marriage or not. So we all have free will. And I think that's really important as well, because I think that, raises the bar for everybody, is that nobody owns anybody. And, if it's not working out for you and you feel like you can leave and have a better life, I mean, he does not prescribe this, but I put my own spin on it, is that, at some point you also have to determine if you're kind of wasting your time, and especially if you can't live the life that you really want because of the other person, then that's not healthy for anyone. But the fifth one that I'm going to add to the marriage killers is this view that people are disposable, and sort of like, oh well, if you weren't here I would do this, or if oh wow, like comparing you to other people, or making comments. I know my ex kind of like off the cuff would be like, oh, if we hadn't met in high school it never would have worked. Well, thanks, that makes me feel good. So I guess at the end of the day you have to think about, what are you building? Are you building love, happiness, and joy? Or are you just not happy within yourself, and so you're taking it out on the other person? And you have to remember, why did you get married in the first place? Again, easier said than done, but something to think about, and maybe some questions to ask if you're doing any of these things and you want your relationship, whether it's marriage or not, to be better. I think this applies to a lot of different things, not just the marriage relationship. Then you can start thinking about actions that you can take that are more helpful than harmful. So that's all I have to say. That was quite a cup of hot tea. I know I thought I would only make a short video, and we're at 7.5 minutes. So I thank you for tuning in, and I hope that this was helpful for you. And from me to you, I hope that your day is a lot easier rather than harder, and that next time we'll be able to share another cup of hot tea from me to you.